Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and today we're doing lesson number 8. We are continuing to hand stitch our shapes, a couple at a time. Remember, these videos are not to be taken in place of the instruction booklet, but are in addition to the instruction booklet. You won't be able to make the pouch by just watching these videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, click on the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications. I love hearing from you, so leave me comments in the comments section, and let's get started on our next lesson of our River Rocks pouch. With this shape, I drew a little chalk line 1/4 inch in so that I knew where I was going with my Tete De Boeuf, where it would end. I'm going to bring that up like this, and then I do, this is the head of the bowl, I'll anchor it there. Doing 8-wrap bullion knots with my EZ01 and a number 3 Milliners on the inside, which is just along that chalk line that I drew inside of the pebble, which is really just on the tip, meeting the tip of the Tete De Boeuf. This is the bead pack that I used, and I just picked out these little pearl ones and stitched 5 in. You can use any thread that'll fit. So if you have an Eleganza number 8 weight, that should work. If you have silk thread, that'll work. Whatever you have on hand, as long as you can get it through the needle and through the bead, you're good. And you just stitch in the 5 beads. So here's my wool shape that I've applied, and then I did my back stitch, and now I'm doing the open buttonhole filler stitch, and I'm doing it in the round. So that means that instead of going back and forth as in a row, I'm going to keep going around and around. So I'm going to just anchor my thread down because I've come to the center, and there it is. Alright, so I used my 10-spoke easy, and I just pressed it over here, and then I just drew my lines so that I'd have 10 radiating out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another thread, and I'm going to radiate out from this, and I'm going to do a woven out to the ends. Alright, so I just squeezed in one extra because I need an odd number for the woven. And maybe I'll use Woods of Gold. It's got some pile to it, which I like. The first thing I have to do is I have to make my spokes. So there's that. And now I'm going to come right up next to one of these spokes, and I'm going to start weaving in and out. Just going to keep going here. These are the Cast-On Bullion Loops. I'm doing between 15 and 35 cast-ons, and I'm just going to demonstrate one. I'm just kind of doing them pretty randomly. So I want to pull my, and I'm using my sheep silk Camel. It gives a kind of matte look to it. And just take a little stitch right there, keep it pretty close to where it originates. Alright, anchor my thread back in. Oh, it just gives these kind of little twisty. I'm just going to keep doing that randomly around here, and I may intersperse a different color. I'm thinking a sort of green, kind of like a khaki green in here. We'll see. I'm doing my French knots in between all of my little cast-ons, and I'm doing them really loosely. So what I mean by that is I come up and I'm doing 3 wraps, and I put this, I anchor my thread, and then instead of holding this taut, I just am letting go, and I'm pulling it through so that it just makes this kind of loopier French knot than a very tightly woven one. So I'm just trying to get a different look. And So like I said, I'm just letting go. I'm not holding it. And I'm letting it just kind of do its thing. And there it is, much loopier. And I want that. I'm trying to achieve that look. I'm just going to do a couple more. This is Oriental Linen Meadowgrass that I'm using. And I'm kind of working randomly, but every now and then I'm doing a cluster. That's kind of it. Kind of wild looking, isn't it? So here's my shape, and I'm just going to position it here. I'm going to do my blanket stitch. I'm going to keep them really close together. So here's my blanket stitch that I did that shape and secured it down. And here are my little cast-ons. I'm doing between 20 and 30 cast-ons each. And I'm going to do one more right here. I've got 4. I'll do 5. This one's going to be smaller. Just going to do a little one right here. So that's 20, and okay, and I think I'll do maybe some free wrap French knot right here. That. All right, so I'm using House of Embroidery in 5 weight. It's a number 33 with a number 1 Milliners, and I'm doing a cast on here that's a variation on the other cast on. So instead of just doing the wrap, the cast on with the same way, you're turning the other hand and slipping it on. And what this does is it gives a different look to it. It's 2, 4, this is 5. So that's 20, and I'm going to pull this through. And there it is. That's 20. And one thing I've noticed is if I don't twist it on the other hand, so if I do this and I don't do it on this side, but I just twist it and put it here, it gives it a very different look to it. So it's not giving me the same kind of bulkiness. So when I do this, I just want to make sure, unless you like it to be less bulky, in which case just do a cast on, you know. This gives it an added bulkiness. I don't know what else to call it, a kind of added dimension to it almost. That extra twist. Pull this. So that gives you an idea. Using my number 8 EZM 96 and a number 3 Milliners, and I'm doing pistil stitches going back and forth. So what I mean by that is that for this one, the pistil is going to go on the outer edge here, and on this one, I'm going to alternate, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go in. And I'm just going to do this all the way around. I'm not being too particular about how I'm going or the distance between or any of that. I'm just kind of covering this edge with these alternating pistil stitches. And I want it to look kind of rough like that. I'm also letting the knots be kind of floppy. Normally I wouldn't. I would be very careful about keeping the tension taut. But for this, I kind of want them to be a little bit loose. I want them to be more organic, I guess, looking. So I'm purposely letting go of the tension, like right there. And I'm just letting them kind of flop around. And by letting them go like that, I get a very different look than when I'm holding them with my thumb and index finger here. You know, like normally I would keep this very taut and just let it go at the very end so that they all look like this. But I'm letting them look like this, and I want them to. I want them to be a bit looser and sort of more wild looking. So like this one, I'm not going to even hold it. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Okay, I'm ending my thread. I haven't really shown you the back, but when I end my thread, I'm just knotting it and I'm hiding the thread in between this linen and the wool layer, and then I'm clipping it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and that you're progressing nicely with your pouch, and these videos are helping you do that. Don't forget to hit that like button, click on the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications. I love hearing from you. Leave me comments. Tell me where you are in the process of making your pouch. Don't forget to check out the description section where I'm leaving links for all the different materials I'm using in this pouch. And until next time, here's to stitching our pouch together.